It's Transformers96 here with another video review. This time we have the Hot Toys Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Batman figure. This is the regular version. Of the three different versions of Batman, I did decide to go with the classic, just regular standard look, which was my favorite in the film. And I'm really happy to get it and very excited to display it with the rest of the Justice League as soon as some of the other figures come out. He looks wonderful with Superman at the time being, though. This is a really nice figure, so without further ado, let's get to it. But before we go over the figure, let's talk about his accessories. As far as which hands you get with Batman here, you get a fair, decent assortment of them, I'd say. He, of course, comes with a pair of fists, which I do have on the figure at the moment. Then he has a pair of hands meant for holding the weapons, like his Gatling gun, his grenade launcher, or if you get the exclusive one, the sniper. Then he comes with two relaxed palms that are a bit more open. They work for kind of like open hands. And then you have one right hand that's meant for holding batarangs, and then one right hand that's meant for holding the bat brand, brander or whatever you want to call it. Nice assortment. The only thing that I could have asked for is maybe another set of the batarang holding hands and another set of the the bat brander for the other side. The bat brander one isn't really necessary, but I would have really liked to see another hand for holding batarangs for the left side as well. It would be really cool to kind of put him in some poses holding batarangs in both hands. I think that would have been quite nice, especially since he comes with 4. You could have him hold 2 in each hand. I think that would be very cool. So I am quite disappointed he doesn't come with that. Also, it would have been kind of nice to get a more aggressive hand, something that has a lot of emotion to it, where he could be like, holding out his hand and like pulling back for a punch in the other hand. So I would have liked a little bit more emotion hands like that. However, the hands that you do get are quite good. You get everything that you basically need. Just, a few extra ones would have been nice. Here's the base that's included with this Batman. The base is actually quite nice. The design of it, like the way it's shaped, is quite good. And then I do like the texturing on the top. It's it's not super realistic as far as the texturing goes, but it's realistic enough. It's got a nice kind of bumps and little notches in it, and it's like a charcoal gray with a bit of a light brown kind of wash into some of the areas or sprayed onto some of the areas. You do have of course, the Batman and Superman logo at the front there. One thing that I like about it, and that's really unique, is the fact that it does flip up. Flips up very easily. Before I had this, I was really wondering how, how it would look, but it flips up just on this single hinge. I thought that there would be other things that kept it up, but no, it's just that one little hinge. And with the pole on, he can stand with it with this flipped up, but he has like no room, no clearance, and not to mention, he's going to be half standing on something that's higher and then half standing on something that's lower. So it's kind of awkward to get him to stand on it with this flipped up. But I do like it flipped up in my display, because I display Batman and Superman just standing and without a base, and then I just display this in front of them with the thing with the logo flipped up, and it looks quite nice. So I do like it quite a bit, and I like the fact that there's orange that's painted on the inside of all of the little rivets there. So if you're looking at it like from right here, it looks awesome, and then from the front you really can't see too much of that. But I do like it. It's kind of like a burnt look, very neat, and I do applaud Hot Toys' creativeness with this base. He comes with 4 batarangs. As you can see, they're quite good. They're painted really nicely. They've got a silver with a kind of like a black speckle effect to it. Looks very realistic, and it is shiny, especially on the edges, which is quite nice. And then he has the the branding little piece here, which does look quite cool, and it fits very nicely in his hand. It's this hand that you're supposed to use it for. You just kind of like slide it in, and then you kind of just rotate it forward. And as you can see, he holds it really nicely, and it looks quite good. I mean, it's wonderful that they gave you a hand that is perfectly meant for it, and it fits in very nice. It doesn't feel like you're stressing the fingers or anything, which is quite good. So do like the items that you get. Again, when I was talking about the hands, would have been nice to get a second hand so you can hold all 4 of those batarangs at the same time. I mean, if you want to, you could kind of like spread them out in his hand, but then you're kind of you're forcing his thumb up, and if you do that for too long, then then you just want to switch it to one batarang, you might not be able to do it. He might no longer be able to hold just one. So I wouldn't want to do that. But the ones that we do get are quite nice. He does come with the new Grapple Gun, which does look quite nice, I have to say. The handle is quite unique. I think it kind of fits in with the Zack Snyder style of it. Very nice. Do like the way that the wood is painted. And And the gun itself is painted quite nicely, and of course it is quite accurate to the one in the movie. He comes with multiple attachments to it. He comes with 2 just standard attachments. They look exactly the same, so I'm unaware of why we have 2. Possibly one goes in the top. No, there's only 1 spot, so I don't know why we have 2. If you guys know, let me know. Then there's one that's meant to just kind of rest in the barrel, but kind of be extended, which is, you know, that one right there. So these are the 2 that are just standard. You have the one that's kind of extended there, and then you have 2 that are shooting. One that's like kind of just shot out, where it kind of has that you know, what would you call it? Where it's kind of like the string is kind of like bending as it's shooting out. Like I can almost like hear the sound effect for it. That's just kind of how I know this type of look. But it fits in very nicely. I mean, you can have it this way and it's not going to fall out or anything, and it does look very cool actually. And then he has one that's very extended, which I like quite a bit. Just put that in the barrel as well. There you go. And as you can see, it's extended quite a lot, so you can have some nice poses where it looks like he's attached and he's about to retract it and then send himself shooting up. So I really do like this gun. I mean, it's pretty solid. I love the different pieces that you have with it. Usually I'm kind of disappointed with that stuff, but I think that Hot Toys nailed it here. They didn't leave anything out. There's really, I can't think of a single piece that I'd like for this gun to have that we didn't already get from Hot Toys, which is quite nice. He comes with a grenade launcher as well. He doesn't use this too much during when he's wearing this costume. He really only fires it once, if I believe. If I'm not mistaken, he just fires it at Doomsday at the very end, as he's, you know, 3 miles away and hiding behind a brick wall. So this is a very nice weapon. It usually is most notable with him when he is wearing the armored suit. However, the design of it is quite nice. I would assume that this opens, but I can't get it to open, and apparently it's not just mine. So I do not think that that's meant to be opened at all. You can see you could put like grenades though in the barrel, and it does look quite good overall. And the stock I thought maybe was extendable, but it doesn't seem to be extendable. So if I'm not mistaken, this has no articulation on it. However, the look of it is quite realistic. He comes with 2 grenades for it. One grenade which is just closed, and then one that's open. The open one I would have liked to see maybe some green on it. I'm not 100% sure if it does emit green light or gas when it's like open like that. However, because they're kryptonite grenades, so I would have liked to see a bit of a green painted on the that little centerpiece of the extended grenade. I think that would have been nice. The exclusive item that's included with this Batman is this sniper rifle here. This is actually a very cool exclusive. It's a pretty big item too, which is very nice. One thing that you can obviously notice is the fact that it does have the stand, so it can be kind of propped up like this. I like this very much. Although he never actually used it with the stand like this in the movie, I'm glad that the actual item does include it. It's very cool, and it's on a bit of a spring there too, which is quite nice. And as you can see, they just go up just like that if you're not using the stand. Looking quite nice, as you can see. Not really like battle damage or anything. You just got a very clean looking sniper. He looks good holding it, although just in my personal image, when I think of Batman, I certainly don't think of him holding the sniper too much. So it's fine, but it's definitely not necessary. If you're not getting the exclusive one, you're not missing out on anything extreme. However, this is a nice exclusive, and he did use it in the movie, although for a pretty quick scene. But it is still nice that he does include it as an exclusive. Now moving on to Batman himself, he does have quite a nice face sculpt, I would have to say. All the mouth plates, I think, look, have a Ben Affleck look to them. I think that, his kind of unique chin obviously does help that, and helps this look quite accurate as far as the likeness goes. He does have multiple interchangeable eyes as well as mouths. He has 3 of each, and let me just show you them. I'll show you in a few different combinations as well. Here's the standard straight out of the box look, the just very serious, mouth piece that doesn't have much expression to it. And then just the eyes that are just straightforward, centered in his eyelid there and the whole bit. So this is very nice. It's a nice look, of course. It's something that you would, of course, expect. However, it doesn't really elevate it to anything super special. I'm a big fan of expression, so I do like some of the other ones slightly more. So let's get on to those. Here's another eye-mouth combination. As you can see, this is pretty neat. It's definitely going to be the most extreme on both cases. We have the mouth open, teeth shut though, very angry type of mouth expression. And then the eyes are going to be the ones that are looking to his left, which is quite cool. I'm glad that they included ones that are looking to one side. And it is quite nice, you know, like right here. That looks pretty cool. And it really helps sell the figure because most figures are just looking straight forward in order to be, you know, very neutral for all poses. So to have ones that are very pose specific really give a natural look to figures, which I do like quite a bit. But I am really happy that he does come with multiple interchangeable hands or eyes, so that you're not just stuck with giving him poses where he has to be like shifting his weight to his left. So you know, with the extra eyes, you can change up the poses. But I am very happy that he comes with eyes looking to the left. Would kind of be nice to have ones that are looking to the right. It's not a huge deal. It's just it would help when you're posing him to not have every single pose that you do. Have him, if you want his eyes to be looking somewhere, have him you know, doing all the action to his left. It would be kind of nice to have ones that are looking to the right, so that he can be doing some action to the right, just to change it up as far as pictures and poses go for yourself. But other than that, I'm really happy with it. The mouth I like a lot. It's very extreme, and I think that it's really quite cool. And here we have the eyes that are looking up, as well as the mouth plate that's more calm, but does have his mouth a bit open. This was probably, you know, the eyes I was quite interested in. The mouth plate, though, I wasn't really interested in it. I was thinking that it would be my least favorite of all three, and it turned out to be one of my absolute favorites, if not my favorite. I don't know why. I think that having the mouth, you know, kind of open slightly, a bit cracked open, really has a Ben Affleck look to it. So possibly it really feels like Ben Affleck here with this mouth plate on. I think that that's the case. I really do like the mouth plate a lot, to my surprise. You know, I thought it was going to be decent, but the other two would far exceed it. And however, this might be my favorite, which is surprising. As far as the eyes go, I love the eyes. The eyes are definitely my favorite. The eyes that are looking up, definitely the way to go. I would never use the eyes that are just straight looking forward, because you get the same effect with the eyes that are looking up, but you get a more ominous tone to it and a more Batman tone, basically. So I think that the eyes looking up are the best eyes. If you want it to be a little bit more dramatic, where he's looking to the side eyes are quite good. But I would never go with the straightforward. I think that the eyes that are straight but high are the ones to go with for the majority of poses, I'd say. So this is a really nice combo, and obviously the eyes and mouth are not attached to each other, so you can interchange these eyes and mouths into whatever order you see fit, which is quite nice. And as far as how to switch them out, relatively simple. It's very easy to switch out the mouth, no problem whatsoever. The eyes take a bit of practice. Like the first time I switched out the eyes, I had a bit of difficulty. Taking the eyes out, getting them in wasn't too bad, but getting the eyes out, I did have some difficulty. But then after that, you kind of get the hang of it, and it becomes quite simple. So the mouth is super easy. The eyes, slightly tricky, but you'll get the hang of it, so no issue, basically. As far as the actual suit goes, it looks spectacular. I'd have to say, so much excellent detailing, and it's tremendous. And you know, before I had it in hand, I was kind of wondering what the fabric's like, and the fabric is wonderful as well. It really doesn't hinder articulation very much, which was extremely surprising to me. When this first went on pre-order, I thought this thing would have no articulation, but it actually has a really good range. So I will be talking about the articulation here, but just going over the actual fabric of the costume. It's spectacular. Look at all that detail. It's just beautiful. I don't have to say anything about it. It's just fantastic. One issue that I have on mine is at the top of the cape here. Don't know if you're going to be able to pick up. Yeah, you see it. That little silver mark. I have no idea what it is. It's just like a little dot of silver on his cape there. It's not something that can just be wiped off. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe it just didn't get painted or something. I don't know, but it annoys me, and it is obviously just something that's on my personal copy of this figure, though, so I wouldn't worry too much about it for yours, but it is something definitely to mention. But as you can see, they do have the muscles all sculpted in there. You can see a bit of the stitch working, the stitching on the side. The gauntlets are very cool. The little spikes on the gauntlets are very sharp as well. Be careful you don't snap those off when you're bending the arms and not paying attention to the back there. He has his cape, of course. The cape is an interesting material. It's almost like a paperish material rather than a. It's certainly not a soft cloth. I mean, we take Superman in here. And as you can see, I mean, I don't know how well you can tell, but they're super different materials. Like Superman's costume or cape is a very soft cloth, and then Batman's is a kind of rough paper, basically. But they both look great, and I think that they do fit their purpose really well. I think that the cloth works nice on Superman, especially with the flying poses, but the paperish look works nicely on Batman here because it hangs very nicely, so I am happy about that. My issue with the costuming is at the lower thigh area. I think that just the thighs look very large, which is odd, and then it makes where the little loop is here is super low. Like this should be higher up because it gives his body a really elongated look, which is not good. Now, you know, it's nothing extreme, but it is certainly noticeable. I think that the cut there should have been much higher, maybe just like up there. I think that would have been much better. And also, I think the fact that the belt hangs a little high, that certainly does not help it. If the belt could go lower, I think that that would help hide it. There would still be an issue, but you'd be able to hide it a bit better. But without it, it certainly is noticeably odd. So I'm not too fond of that. Yeah, from the belt up, I mean, this thing just looks perfect. And then you get down there, and it's like, ooh, you know, a little off, but nothing too extreme. And then the boots are quite nice. I like at the edge of the toes, there's like this kind of gold, what do you call that? Gold, not quite speckling, but kind of gold, I don't know what to say. I got like this word that I'm trying to get to, but it's not coming out. I don't know. This gold like kind of wash at the tips of the toes, I think is very nice. And you've got the same thing on the knuckles, and it's the same gold that's like on the pouches on his belt, as well as on the sharp things on his gloves there. So I do like that kind of gold patterning on it. It's something I didn't notice in the movie, but this figure just looks awesome with it, I have to say. Another thing about the cape is that the very top of it is wired to help you have it sit, you know, nicer on him. It sits very nice, but not perfectly. As you can see that it goes up a bit too far. I wish that it would sit just like completely flush with the body. I mean, that would be really nice, but that's a little bit too much that I'm asking for. That's more perfection than it should be, I have to say, but it still does look wonderful. I think that the overall look of this figure is breathtaking. It really is. I mean, it's a beauty. You know, and I don't know if it's coming across completely as good as it looks in person as it does on camera here, but yeah, it's pretty fantastic, super menacing, and just a joy to just to look at, basically. So really happy about that. Let's go over to articulation now. Alright, so the articulation on this guy is actually surprisingly good. Have him in a slight pose here, almost like a getting ready to box type of thing. And as you can see, no bases. I haven't had this guy on his base during this review at all, and even when I was taking pictures, I didn't put him on his base because it's just unnecessary. He's really well balanced. He's got strong ankle pegs too, so he's just really nicely balanced, which is always fun where you don't have to rely on a base. As far as the articulation goes, starting off here with the head is quite good. It's on a ball joint at the lower neck, which can have it look up an extremely far amount. I mean, that's just insane. Now, obviously, it doesn't look good because you have a portion of the suit that's coming off of his body there, but he can look up an extremely high amount. I mean, that's awesome, and it certainly works out nicely if you're posing him looking up at a flying Superman. That's always quite nice. As far as looking down, he can look down. He can look down quite a bit, actually. He really is looking down a decent amount, but personally, I would like him to look down even more. I think that it's more important for him to look down than it is to look up, just because he's Batman. You know, he should have his head dipped in just about any pose that you're going to have him in. And then the eyes that are looking up really help sell that, with the head dip and the eyes looking up, giving him a more menacing and more intense look like that. That's just pretty wonderful right there. So I would like the head to dip slightly more. However, it's not too bad. It still dips a decent amount. You can go side to side a bit too, and then of course he can look side to side basically completely. Just know that when you move his head, you move the whole cape assembly basically, and then when you do move him forward, he does start to cover the bat signal, symbol. If that does annoy you, then you know, you might have some limitations onto where you can move his head. As far as the shoulders go, the suit doesn't hinder him too much. As you can see, they can go up very far. They can go out like completely, and that's really wonderful how far that's going out actually. And what's nice is it really doesn't leave too many wrinkles. I mean, the Superman suit, which is the same type of suit that Vision has, leaves wrinkles in any pose that you put it in. If you stress the suit, like even not even stressing it, if you move the suit to like bend the arms or something, you will leave creases at the elbows. That's just a fact. You can't get around it when it comes to Batman or when it comes to Superman. But with Batman here, it's not an issue. You do have some wrinkles, but they seem to go away. And for some reason, the wrinkles don't look bad. I don't know why. Maybe on Superman, just I'm more into having him have a professional, clean type of look to him, which is why the wrinkles bother me. But with Batman, they really don't. And there's less wrinkles too, so it really doesn't matter. He has double hinge elbows, which can hinge that far, which is pretty nice. That's 90 degrees, and for how big his muscles are, I mean, oh, also, like, having him hinge his arms, that's not a restriction to the suit. That's just as far as the joint will go, because his muscles are so big, so the suit doesn't hinder the elbows in the slightest, which is nice. Of course, he has ball hinge wrists, which are slightly hindered by the gauntlets, which is expected. As far as the torso goes, it does say it goes side to side, and I guess it kind of does. You really don't get much out of that, though. But you can have him look up, not too much. You basically straighten him out, and then you can have him crunch forward a nice amount. He has a nice crunch there, and for all that padding and that just massive torso, it is surprising that he can even do that, so that's impressive. As far as the thighs go, they're quite good. They can go out about this much from each other, I'd say. Maybe get another click in there, but yeah, I guess that's as far as you could go. And then he can kick forward fair amount. You get nice clicks. I mean, this obviously, when you compare it to like Marvel Legends and stuff, it's obviously not as good, but taking into account what Hot Toys' figures usually do for a figure like this that has the skin-tight suit, this is actually excellent articulation. Then he has double hinge knees, which were great. Again, just like the elbows, not hindered by the suit. They stop here just because that's all the joint can do. The joint itself can physically do. And then he has ball hinge, or just ball jointed ankles, which has a great pivot and can go up and down a bit too. And like I said earlier, the ankle joint is quite strong, so you don't have to worry about balancing him and getting him in poses where he'll be susceptible to falling. So I am liking the articulation on this guy quite a lot. It was very impressive and something I wasn't expecting. So now let's give him a little comparison with a Justice League member. Actually, before I do that comparison, I did want to mention two other things about his articulation that I completely forgot to talk about. First of all, he has ratchet joints just about everywhere. Shoulders, elbows, knees, thighs, they're all ratcheting. They're not very loud ratchets or anything, but they do have certain clicks that they can go to, which is excellent for holding the poses, considering his suit is tight. So this way, when you put him in the positions that you want him in, the suit won't force his arm down or force his leg down or anything like that, because of those ratchets that really help him stay into position, which is really nice. And then the other thing about it, though, is that it is disappointing on the thighs, purely because it's hard to get them in a good spread position. This is basically what I do. I do not having any clicks out on this leg, and on this leg I have one click out to kind of give you a nice little space there. It means he's not standing evenly. He has like one leg is slightly out more, which I think looks nice for this pose right here. However, if you want him standing completely symmetrical, it is odd, because if you have the legs positioned to each other, then his legs are very close together, and if you take them both one click out, then his legs are just too far apart. So to have him stand normally and to have him be completely even and parallel, he doesn't look too great. The position that you want ideally is kind of in between those clicks. So that is something just to mention. If you do have a display where you're putting him front and center and you want him just to stand completely parallel to himself, just looking forward, the legs are going to be a little odd, because either his legs are a little bit too far out apart, or they're too close together, or you move one leg out and therefore he's got a bit of a tilt in his body. So that's just something I wanted to mention, because it's something I definitely noticed, and it's something that usually is not a problem for Hot Toys figures, so I definitely wanted to give you guys a heads up with that. So here's Batman with Superman. This is the Man of Steel Superman and not the Dawn of Justice one. They look quite good together, I have to say. Just seeing them together really gets me excited for the other members, and I cannot wait to have a really cool Justice League display. I've had a nice Avengers display for years now, so to get a DC version of that is super exciting. But they look nice together. As far as height goes, Superman is taller than Batman. Just about any way you slice it, he is just taller than Batman. Even if you put Batman's legs very close together, and even if you kind of spread Superman's legs a bit, the best you could hope for by doing stuff like that is that Batman would just be as tall as Superman. There's like no way to make them both standing and make Batman taller, which is annoying, unless you're counting the little ears. So that's kind of annoying. I don't think that they made Batman too small or anything. Batman, he's a pretty tall figure, but they did make Superman really tall, and I just assume the reason they did it was because he's Superman. He should be tall, just based on the idea of the character. However, it doesn't fit with everything. I kind of want Batman to be at least as tall as Superman. So it's kind of annoying. I wish that they were the same height. That would be great. But unfortunately, they're not. Batman is slightly shorter, which I think is more of an issue with Superman being too tall rather than Batman being too short. Overall, I am very happy with this Batman figure. I think that his presence is spectacular. He's very very bulky, has quite a bit of weight to him as well. Even when you just get the box, you'll feel how much heavier this is than your average Hot Toy figure, which is very cool. And that's not because of accessories that it comes with, it's because of the bulk of the figure. The figure's very bulky, he has a lot of mass, and that really does come across in the weight as well as in the look, which is very nice. The detail on the suit is spectacular. The articulation is really good for the fact that it's a skin-tight suit, and I love the fact that you can interchange the mouths and eyes. I'm a big fan of expression when it comes to figures, and usually we don't get very expressive figures. We get the very standard look to them. So I am always happy when I get a figure that I can change out the expression to what I personally see fit as the best, which is this combo in my opinion. It is the mouth with the that's open slightly, and then the eyes that are looking up. That's my favorite combo on this figure, and he looks fantastic. I love the overall design is just wonderful, and the fact that he has a bunch of accessories keeps him fresh. You can put him in different poses, and he's looking just quite fantastic. I really love it. It's a really great look, and the figure really represents that look just perfectly, I would have to say, especially when you get it with lighting like this, where he's lit from the ground, which gives the shadows above his eyes and things, makes him look so cool. Really love it. Great figure. Would highly recommend to anybody. It's actually quite a popular one. The exclusive version of this, which I have, that comes with the sniper, sold out quite a while ago. And then even just the regular version without the exclusive sold out a long time ago too. Both of them sold out months before their release on Sideshow. So you can still get this figure, but I would think that the price is only going to go up from here. The only way that it will come back down is when they release a Justice League Batman that's in the suit, like the updated version of the suit basically for Justice League. So there you go, that's my review of the Batman from the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice movie from Hot Toys. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.